Hello everybody and welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I've been INSANEBRIT and this is this week's News Friday where I talk about all week's gaming news, gaming topics and some anime news as well, and I do have some anime news for you. I've got a bunch of interesting topics to talk about where I'm going to give you the facts and my opinions as it were. But we're going to jump right on in at BlizzCon and the controversial situation going on with Diablo. Now, I'm not a Diablo fan. I'm just never really played the games. It never really interested me. Now, we're primarily on PC. I think it came over to console. I think it was on the PS3, and then they did an updated version or whatever on the PS4, I believe. It's been a couple of years. Now, BlizzCon was running as basically where Blizzard run their big show or whatever. I'm not too sure if they do it every year, but when they talk all things Blizzard, basically it's just one company talking about all what they're coming out with, World of Warcraft, Diablo, etc., etc. Anyway, the big controversial thing with this year's BlizzCon was when talking about Diablo. Of course, now primarily it is a PC game. It started on PC, I believe, and that's where its core fan base is. And they went on in this press conference. And they announced that their upcoming Diablo games would be on the dreaded, yes, mobile devices. Now, if I didn't play on a PS Vita or a PSP, there's no way in hell that I would be interested in playing a game on my mobile phone. Especially when it comes to battery life, these things like just die out super quick. They have to be attached to a wall and a plug socket is ridiculous. And I'm not the only one with that kind of opinion. Plus, with my hands and everything, you know, and a small screen, when I'm used to playing on a 50 or 49-inch television or whatever, or a badass monitor, and most of primarily the Diablo players like mouse and keyboard, so they don't want to be fiddling around with a stupid phone. It's just not what it was, you know, like I said, primarily it isn't coming to PC or whatever, it's just all mobile devices. And people were very unhappy, and they booed, essentially, all the developers or whatever, or who were on stage, the presenters who were saying, this is what we got, this is what we're going to bring to you, basically got booed. And I think that's, I know it sounds bad, but it's kind of a good thing, yeah, that if they're unhappy, then they booed them, you know what I mean? That is a good thing, because it makes them feel the heat, I'm going to be honest with you. Instead of hiding behind a fucking Twitter, just branding people who are unhappy about the game as racist, sexist, or whatever they might want to come up with because they're haters, that people don't like their game, that this wasn't just one individual or two, this was this is their hardcore fan base. These are people that spend hundreds of pounds or dollars, whatever, to go across state, across the country. Hell, even people from all over the world can go to BlizzCon, pay for their ticket. Those people who are doing that are hardcore fans because it's only one company. So some people are calling those gamers entitled, but at the same time I would say no, they're just hardcore fans who love the series and expected something different. I think they were all expecting Diablo 4. Like I said, it's been a couple of years since Diablo 3 came out. And there's also been criticism of another game, a particular game that's coming out. I think it's called Diablo Immortal, which apparently they're saying is a reskin of another game. And basically, I think they outsourced the gameplay or whatever to another company. And they basically, they already worked on another title that looks just very, very similar. And they've just shoehorned in aspects of Diablo. And that's why people are very unhappy. So yeah, so they had to deal with it. They had to put up with being booed on stage at their own event by their own fans because they're not doing what the fans wanted. Then we had a particular individual, I don't know his name, who worked on the game, was a bit defensive, and look, I'm not even a Diablo fan, and this would have pissed me off royal, where the guy basically said, oh, what, blah, 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 you all got mobile devices, haven't you? Of course everybody's got mobile devices. You know what I mean? But you're saying that to fans who are pissed off at you that you're all going mobile devices. And, you know what I mean? Of course everyone's got mobile devices. But it's not the point. We wanted Diablo 4, we wanted for PC or whatever, and you're just announcing this fucking shitty mobile shit. You know, the best thing for them to have done would be to talk about the mobile thing, promote that, that's fine, and then at the end of the event, when, assuming Diablo was the last thing they were talking about, say, oh, and here's this announcement trailer, I hope you guys enjoy it, and then Diablo 4 pops up. That would have been a way to win them over. That way you've reached into another market, and you've kept your core fan base happy. And they haven't done that. And that was essentially the press conference in a nutshell. Well, in that respect, sort of controversial. Now they're saying they're backtracking and saying that we did have Diablo 4, but we decided to remove it from our press conference, which doesn't make a lot of sense, and I don't believe that. And if it wasn't development, are they gonna? I partly feel that they were gonna go ahead with this mobile shit, I believe, for 1 or 2 years or whatever, and then the PS5 would come out, and then they would announce Diablo 4 or whatever, and it would come out on the next generation console, because they're more in the know than all the rest of us. Like I said, 2020 is when the PS5 comes out, so maybe that's when they were going to push for their next game. Who knows? I don't know. But we'll have to watch this space. At the end of the day, I'm not even a fan, and I felt pretty pissed off. A lot of people are saying that, like I said, it was entitled gamers. Well, they're fans, you know, and if I hate mobile gaming in general. If you put any franchise like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, FIFA, Metal Gear Solid on mobile and say, we're not going to do it on PS4, Xbox, or PC, we're just going to throw it at you on mobile, I will say, go fuck yourself. I'm not interested. I won't buy it. I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel about mobile. I don't like the business model. We're going to go with microtransactions as well, probably, because that's the way it is. 9 out of 10, and I can't stand that shit. I don't even play free-to-play games on the console. I prefer to pay a certain amount, know that I'm going to get a certain amount of quality, and don't have to worry about extra shit. And I'm going to get, you know, at least something somewhat decent. I don't like the idea of them the pay to win or anything like that. It just winds me up. But yeah, so that's the controversial going on with BlizzCon. Now, our next story, I'm going to keep talking about games for a second before I jump into this next area, which is more just an opinion, you know, and I'm interested to hear your feedback on all of the stories in today's video anyway. So, the next story about games related is Titanfall 3, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order could be out in late 2019. According to some prepared remarks from EA, it appears Respawn Entertainment will have multiple games released by the holiday 2019, which may include Titanfall 3 and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. In these prepared remarks, EA revealed there are new projects underway across multiple studios, including games from Respawn that are slated to launch by the next holiday season. When Respawn was acquired by EA in 2017, both groups revealed that the working studio was working on several projects, including Oculus Rift VR, don't really interest me, haven't got one, that was announced in 2017, and a third Titanfall game, and a third-person Star Wars title that was revealed to be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order at E3 2018. I thought they cancelled a Star Wars game. Maybe that weren't it, who knows. The wording in these prepared remarks suggests that there will be at least 2 games coming out of Respawn in holiday 2019, though it's unclear if these will include 2 or more of the aforementioned projects, or possibly even a currently unannounced project. Regardless, the project of having Fallen Order and Titanfall 3 released within our just a bit beyond the next year is exciting. This doesn't make sense. Released within our just a bit. Well, that's a mistake there. Got to be. In our 2000. Okay, blah blah blah. So it goes on. So basically, Titanfall 3. I played the second one. The playthrough is on my channel. Go down to completed playthroughs and you can watch me play that. I very much enjoyed it. The first one didn't have a story, the second one did. I didn't pick up the last Star Wars game because of all the controversial bullshit with the microtransactions. And the story was apparently 5 hours long, story mode, so I'm not paying 50 quid for that. Fuck that. So on principle, I just didn't pick it up, which was going to be my first ever Star Wars game. And I've gotten into Star Wars in recent months or the past year, and I've seen all the films. I love them. I think they were great. Some are better than others, obviously. Including The Last Jedi I actually watched, which I was annoyed at. It was a good film, except the ending. So yeah, so another Star Wars game, maybe it's coming out in 2019. I don't know what they've done in recent time, Respawn Entertainment. I haven't heard much of them, but now they're super backing like EA, who's got tons of money. It wouldn't surprise me that Fallout 3, Titanfall, sorry, comes out, and this new Star Wars game. It'd be interesting because, like I said, they've got these. They need to come out with more newer games as well for their company, because I can only think of Titanfall 3 when I think of Respawn Entertainment. Maybe the guy who actually, I think when they purchased it, Titanfall guys said that we want to be in charge. You own us, but we were in charge of the creative element of it. Anyway, that's that story. So there's 2 games to come out 2019. I'll be definitely playing Titanfall 3 because and we'll see how the Star Wars one if it comes to pass. Let's talk about. I want to get into Netflix because they've got some seriousness coming up that I want to talk about. But the next story. Hold on, there's a stupid thing here. How long's my video been going on for? 10 minutes, not too bad. Kind of a short News Friday this week. So apparently this next topic is 9 out of 10 will not finish the game they are playing. Whoa. 9 out of 10, that's a pretty god, that's 90% of gamers who are playing a game right now will not finish. Oh, fuck that. That drives me nuts. Okay, but that's just my opinion. So here it goes. Just 10% of gamers actually finish a game. An industry veteran told CNN in a recent feature, and his colleagues and other figures back him up. 90% of players who start a game will never see the end of it unless they watch a clip of it on YouTube, says Keith Fuller. The gaming social network vouches for that, noting that only 10% of those in its service have actually played Red Dead Redemption, have finished the last mission for one of 2010's most acclaimed games. Rapture Sean Lee, with a career that included executive jobs in THQ, that was a good company, Sega, and Konami, I can't even read that word. Hudson recalled being told that the completion figure was about 20%. CNN goes further into the psychological completion of games design and the pile of shame, noting that a gamer's average age gets older, they have less time for a massive 40-hour campaigns, and even if they don't have a wife and kids, the amount of digital distractions now is far greater than it ever has been before, with Konami saying, Jeremy Alloy, people need time to check their Facebook, send a Twitter, be witty on their blog, play with their phone. Oh, and that game you made, if they feel as if though the end is far away, they simply say, I don't have time for that, and stop playing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yeah, apparently only 10% of people finish their games. That's crazy. Now, there are a couple of reasons for this, in my opinion, and you'll probably fall into one of these categories. So first and foremost, let's talk about the typical gamer, normally a person at school or something like that in their teens who have got time lazing around, mum's doing the cooking, and you can just play for hours on end. Now there's 2 aspects to this. There's the online mode, which obviously a lot of you play with your friends, especially when you go home from school, and all the rest of it, or maybe before you go to bed or whatever, and that's fine. Some of you will play the story mode. Of course, online is always more popular than story, but story mode is still strong, and there are those core fans there. So I'm a story-based person, and you'll play the story, and you can play for a good few hours, hell, maybe even 5 hours a day. Some people even my friend Chaos completes games in a day, or used to. And then he was taken back to the stores and just say, this is years ago, by the way, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, he would go, oh, it was something wrong with it, blah, 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 and then get a whole new game if he completed it, because he would marathon the fucking thing. It's harder and harder to do that these days, but whatever. So just be smart about what you buy. So yeah, that's from a young age. You can just play games for hours on end and get away with it, and that's fine. Hell, even do all-nighters, or even if you're at school and you play for a certain amount, or maybe you're busy in the week, you can do it on the weekend and just pound the shit out of that game, and maybe even finish it. Maybe it takes 2 weeks max, on average. But of course, as you get older, you have a lot less time. There's work, you got other things to do. Things get in the way, just in general in life. And there's only so many hours in a day, so you may not go back to that game, or you just get a little bit antsy with it. Like you're playing it, you get stuck, etc., and that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And you don't go back to it, or you forget parts of the game. And then new games come out, and this is a big thing with adults, especially. I noticed this. When you're an adult, of course you have less time, you might have wife, kids, and a job, but at the same time, you're, oh God, what was I going to say? You'll basically play a game, get stuck, or get bored of it, or feel it's not very good, and then, or maybe you're enjoying the game, but then a new one comes out, Spider-Man comes out this week, and you'll pay £40, and then you'll go and play that game, you'll switch to that, and you never really get to finish the game, because you're just in that way, you're here and now. And your life's too short, so you can't be bothered to keep going back and playing other games to finish them. and you'll hop onto the next thing because you have more money now, more capital to spend on games, and that's what you end up doing. I can't stand that. I get why that is for a lot of people. Me personally, what I do is for example, this is my advice, is if you have two games, one a multiplayer and one story-based, right? Just say Uncharted and Call of Duty. You play Call of Duty with your friends and it's fine, it's good, they're on, have fun, that's fine. Okay. Then you have a story-based game. Play that for an hour a day, or whatever it is, or even, you know, half an hour, whatever it may be. Any chance you get, and don't move on to the next game until you've completed that story-based game. So, keep playing Call of Duty all year round, or maybe Battlefield, or whatever you want to play, but then do that Uncharted game. Keep playing the Uncharted game, beat the game, and then move on to the Spider-Man game, or move on to the Metal Gear game, or the Far Cry game. Or you can buy games that you know are going to be 8 or 9 hours long in general, like the short campaigns, like Call of Duty, maybe Doom, you know what I mean? Just so simple games. There's plenty of games I can't think off the top of my head. Or a Telltale's game, you know what I mean? Something you can just play, and it'll only be like 10 hours long, and you'll just go through it. You know what I mean? Because it's a story. But if you play open world games like Red Dead Redemption, that's going to be 40, 50-hour gameplay. Grand Theft Auto, the same. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, they're all going to be long-last playthroughs. Even Fallout or whatever. So just be aware of the game you're actually buying. Or maybe you want a story-based game, an open world game, and a multiplayer game, and you'll bounce between the three. I personally just play my story-based games for YouTube and stuff like that. And then I'll play something else, maybe offline, like FIFA or whatever, season mode. And, you know, I just do it that way, and I will not divert and jump to another game until I've completed my main game. So I'll finish FIFA 19 story mode, I'll jump to, I don't know, Mafia 3. I'll play that, complete that, and then I'll jump to, and that's the way I work. And that's why it takes me quite a while to get through certain games, because I'm recording them. But it's different for me because I'm recording. But you see my point now. If I was playing it normally like you guys would, I would just play Mafia 3 and complete it within a week, probably. Because I wouldn't care, I'll just do my own thing, my own pace. But that's just the way life is, it gets in the way, and, you know, so that's primarily the reasons why you will not complete a game. The last story, sorry that went on for a bit, I was ranting there, but the next big story, and the last story rather, is Castlevania 3 is coming out. Now, Castlevania is a good anime. I've seen Season 1. I'm watching Season 2 right now. Season 3 has been announced. Hold on, where is it now? Blah, 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 blah. It'll go from... So the first one had 4 episodes. First season had 4 episodes. The second season had 8. And the next episode will have 10. Now, there is a game of this, actually. But it's the anime... I'm a fan of the anime. I've never played the games. But the game, the anime is not based on the games, or it's an adaptation of the games, and it's somewhat different. I always prefer them to stay loyal to the core game, or whatever it is, the core source material, because then that way we're getting the best of it. You'll please the hardcore fans of the games, and then what made it popular and brilliant in the first place will be brought to the anime, which will get me included. And I've gone through the anime route. I don't think I've ever played the games anyway. It don't really interest me that much. But the anime is very, very good. It is. I'm not interested in playing a game of it. I never really pick up anime games or games based on animes. They don't really interest me as much. Mainly, I think because it's not Western. It's more Eastern, the way they do it, and it's subtitles anyway, 9 out of 10, which pisses me off. That's just my take on it. And I'm not interested in playing. If I won't watch anime subbed, I'm not going to play a game that's subbed. I really fucking won't, especially when I'm paying 30, 40 quid for it. Fuck that. But that's just my opinion. The last story is Netflix announces anime series based on Pacific Rim and Altered Carbon. Now, I haven't watched Altered Carbon. I have to get into that at this point. Netflix has announced 5 new anime titles in development. 5 animators. They do pretty well, Netflix, I've got to be honest with you, including Pacific Rim and Altered Carbon. Pacific Rim will expand on Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising and focus on 2 siblings who pilot an abandoned Jaguar in an attempt to find their missing parents across a hostile, kaiju-peppered landscape. Oh, that sounds really cool. Craig Kyle for Ragnarok and Greg Hugsman X-Men Evolution will act as co-showrunners. Oh, cool. Altered Carbon is set in the same universe as Netflix's live-action series, which is receiving a 2nd season. It will explore new elements of the story, mythology, is all Netflix has said about the anime series so far. It will be written by Odell Sato, who wrote Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, 2 animes I know, and Tosaka Kondo. I've never watched that, so I couldn't comment on that one. Calgasta, right, and I think my friend was talking about this a while ago. I have to talk about him further about this. Calgasta is an insect. Cage is an insect. Cage is based on the manga set in a post-apocalyptic world where the disease Calgesta turns people into giant murderous insects. The series is set to be directed by Full Metal Panic's Konju Chigara, if I'm reading that right. Yazuki is set in a war-torn feudal Japan. In a retired Ronin must protect a mysterious child against dark forces. Yasuke was created by the Boondocks' Lee Sean Thomas. Rounding out the 5 is Tress. Never heard of it. Based on the graphic novel of the same name and focused on a woman who goes head-to-head with a criminal supernatural underworld set in an alternate Manilia. These will be executive produced by Legend of Korra's J. Olivia. I remember Legend of Korra. I never watched it. The new anime series were announced out as Netflix slate event in Singapore. Netflix distributor. Okay. The distributor, or Netflix, is releasing 3 of its award-contending movies in theaters ahead of its streaming service. So basically, they're going to come out over there as movies or something, and then before it even comes to Netflix. But that's still great, though. We're getting a load of more anime. Netflix seems to do a hell of a good job when it comes to anime. And I do enjoy the, I do support the anime. I don't just watch them, I actually buy them if they're good enough. I did it with Knights of Sidonia, and I'll buy Season 2 when that comes out, if it ever does manage to come out. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of all the this week's stories. Are you excited for Titanfall 3? Are you one of those people that don't finish a game? Does it drive you nuts? I just can't get over the fact that people pay £40 for a game and then don't finish it. It is what it is. That's why I prefer to buy pre-owned, or not pre-owned, but like when they're older and really cheap, or on sale at least. Anyway, guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links will be in the description below. Next week, we'll return to Mafia 3, and then I'll switch back to FIFA 19. I know a lot of you don't like FIFA 19, the story mode. I get it. But I want to finish it, complete it, and then you'll never see it on my channel again until next year at least, if they come out with another story. And then we bounce to Mafia. I'll play God of War, and so forth. And I'm breaking up Mafia because it is quite a long playthrough. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.